Perfect. Hi guys, good morning. So happy that everyone could make it to class today. So I'm presenting my brand first. Mine is Realign Journal Co., a stationery brand for those in need of self-reflection or redirection in their wellness journey. So this is just my table of contents. I'm going to be going over my brand story and purpose, some of my research, my target audience and voice, my visual system, my logos, and then some of my deliverables I made. So I remember when we drew our cards from Heather, I got solo retreat for millennials. And I looked at Heather and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. And she's like, whenever I think solo retreat, I think of a journal. And I was like, well, that's perfect. I found this quote on one of the articles I looked at. For me, a solo retreat is like an alignment check for the soul. It's a chance to strip away the distractions and noise, to hear your own thoughts and see what bubbles up. And that kind of tied to my name of Realign. So the purpose is just to provide journals and other stationery items to aid a solo retreat or realignment journey. I thought of just like a line of journals, maybe like a field guide for outdoor nature solo retreats, a notes, maybe some reflection cards, just like a suite to put together to make one feel like they can go forth in a wellness journey and kind of realign their thoughts and view on life. So our mission is to improve people's lives through mindful thought and journaling, and our vision is to create a world that prioritizes mental health and wellness. So target audience, like I said, I drew millennials for my target audience. So those are millennials who are interested in experiencing solo retreat and or those interested in overall wellness. Some of the things I found from this Millennials in Health Mid-Tel report says they're very concerned about long-term health. They view holistic health as an investment. They prioritize energy levels, sleep quality, body weight, sustainable health. They seek preventative care and are in demand for tools that help track and highlight progress to support their journey. Exactly what my brand aims to do. So here are my logos. I got the design inspiration. This is like a lotus flower that symbolizes peace, tranquility. The colors are the same way. The calm blue, we have a green, a sand, really just some calm. As you can see, Realign is always lowercase, and so is Journal Co. Just to kind of calm the mind, you want to feel at peace kind of when you look at my logo. And then here's my type. Nova Antique script is my main for the Realign. So that's just our main attraction. It's always in lowercase, so it isn't too bold. But it's just to draw you in for important titles and headings. Anywhere that's meant to catch your eye, you will find Nova Antique. And then Avenir is my secondary font, and it's kind of your sensible friend. It's meant for body text and subheads. It's easy on the eyes, very readable, and it just, I felt complete and sweet very well. Here are my colors. I have a calm blue, a forest green, sand in the clouds, and sticks and stones. A lot of this was chosen by some research on colors. The blue and the green specifically were really good for like calming the mind. You think water, you think nature, and that's exactly kind of what I wanted to do for my brand. So my first deliverable is this YouTube bumper ad that's 10 seconds. I'm sure you guys have seen something like this. It's kind of a deep breath, so the circle expands to hold, and then you exhale. And it's kind of just to remind our audience to take a deep breath during the day, kind of perfectly capturing our message and what we want to portray. My second deliverable, because I'm a journal brand, of course I did a stationery suite mock-up. And so that kind of shows we got some envelopes, kind of a sample of what a notebook would look like, some paper, a business card, and like a little journal entry with our little lotus flower pin. It's one of my favorite parts. I just thought it would make sense to do it because my brand was journalists, and I think it kind of perfectly completed the suite. And that's
right. Thank you. That looks great.
Are we taking questions? Is that?
I don't know. Did you get feedback
said?
the first time?
Yes.
Okay. So Hame and I are here to give some feedback for you. Bear in mind that we are not graphic design whizzes like Heather. We are like regular people who can just sort of say, hey, this is how me as maybe a customer or a client who is not the graphic design person would look at this. Okay, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And Alex Juicer's back there too.
Yeah. Oh, and Alex, you did come, right, Alex? Oh, Alex is an expert. Okay. Alex is the expert who will talk about the graphic part. I'm just going to say I really like the color palette. I think it evokes both nature and calm, and I think those were some really good color choices.
Thank you.
And the Navantique I like as a script font because it's not so scripty that it's hard to read. There's a lot of script fonts out there that are so hard to read, or like N's look like R's or R's look like N's.
Absolutely.
And you know, I think people are like, oh, it looks playful, and it's like, you can't read that. So that was, I think, a really good choice for a script font because it was a little bit fancier but not so overdone that it was unreadable. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, this was something that we talked about last class with those who chose script fonts, because I agree, I think the script font works really well, but anytime you have script fonts, you need to think about when and how they should be used. So how did you approach that part of your thinking with the typography, knowing like when the script is okay to use and when a more clear, easily readable font would be the better option?
Yeah, absolutely. I pretty much only use it for the name of the brand. If I had a website mock-up that I would have made, I probably would have used it not for like the navigation bar, but maybe for like a heading in the copy. Just like you said, it can get overdone really easily and really quickly. I don't know if that's what's happened. But yeah, and then on some of my mock-up stuff, I had it like just the logo on the journal or like even on the envelopes. Just not too much, but just enough to have it, hopefully have some recognizable to make you know what it is when you see it.
I thought it was super cohesive. I really, really like your logo. I think it's simple. I think it reflects, yeah, I love the logo. I think it reflects what kind of your goals are with this company. I did wonder about the green. Okay, so I do like your color palette. Your green though, how did you come to this particular shade and not like a lighter shade that was more muted?
Yeah, I think I originally was looking at like a sager green, kind of, you know what I mean? I think I just ended up liking the contrast of the blue in this green better. Also because with some of my like mood board photos, I just really liked like the naturey, dark foresty green, especially with the solo retreat energy. I don't know, I kind of just landed on it and then I ended up loving it, so I kept her.
All right, other questions, folks? No? All right, super job, thank you.
Okay. So hi all, my name is Joseph Barber. I work over there at the Kmart. My brand is FreeFlow. So FreeFlow is a co-working design studio built for Kansas City's small business community, a creative hub where ideas move like water. We bring together creators, entrepreneurs, and dreamers to work together, design, and grow in an environment inspired by KC's kingdom of flowing, innovative creativity. Our brand's mission is to empower KC through creative collaboration, fluid design thinking, and community-driven spaces that keep Kansas City's creativity flowing. We exist to make creativity accessible, practical, and connected, fueling KC's next wave of makers, doers, and dreamers. As a brand, we value 4 things. Flow over force. We believe great ideas move naturally. Our workspaces foster creative flow and not friction. We believe being rooted in the community. We're inspired by Kansas City, its people, its pace, its fountains, and its currents. Our workspaces foster creativity while honoring the rhythm and voice of our city and supports those who shape it. Accessible creativity. Design should not exclude. We make high-quality creative support approachable and sustainable for everybody. And there should be a purpose in every drop. Each project, partnership, and space we create is intentionally designed to uplift KC's creative flow. Our brand's target audience is small business entrepreneurs seeking accessible, practical, and inspiring communal work spaces where creativity can thrive. These local businesses would be rooted in KC pride, much like our own brand, and they would value the city's culture and are in need of creative support at any level. So here are the logos that we have come up with. Our primary logo is going to be a horizontal walk-up of the design, which is going to feature the FreeFlow logo type and along with the design studios and Wave Favicon. Our secondary logo is going to be our Wave F, and that's what's going to be used predominantly on most small media designs. It is important to know the name of the company, FreeFlow, is to pay homage to Kansas City and its culture. Kansas City has the motif as the city of fountains and also houses the Missouri River. So it is important to note that FreeFlow always will, FreeFlow is going to embody what KC is. Here are the fonts we have chosen. Our primary font is going to be all around Gothic, which is going to be used for headings, and the brand's primary font is to be used for headlines, titles, and other imperative branding. This smooth futuristic typeface represents the brand's value of ever-growing / flowing creativity. Our body copy is Ophelia. Ophelia is the brand's secondary font and is to be used for body text. The light weight of the font blends well with the primary font and should always be used at a minimum of 24-point font for legibility. And our final font is the complementary font, which is Café Romantique, which is the font, the brand's actual title font. This font is for the typeface and to be used within the primary logo and to be used within the body text wherever utilizing the brand's name and to highlight other elements within the body. Another important note, if I go back to the main slide, if you notice, the typeface and kerning can be a little bit more spaced compared to this typeface right over here. So whenever we use this for the free flow logo, it's going to have a 60-point font between the F and the L to make sure that we don't have any overlap, while everything else is going to be a 25-point kerning. That way we have some more legibility. Our brand's colors. Sorry, I apologize. Free Flow Blue is a welcoming watercolor blue that generates the flow of the brand's identity. The water-inspired color pays homage to KC's culture as the city of fountains and the Great Missouri River. Our second primary color is Deep Current, which is a rich dark navy inspired by the quiet depths of the river and is an homage to the name of the KC Current soccer team. It is strong and grounding and as ideal for text and as a background color to push other assets toward the foreground. And then our third secondary color, or our primary secondary color, is Pale Current, which is a pale blue-gray-white inspired by the early morning fog KC has and by the end of water streams along the riverbed. The subtle off-white is ideal for backgrounds and as a secondary font color for any graphics. My first deliverable is a logo animation I created. And I kind of went overboard, so I made a second logo animation of my secondary logo as well. And both are meant to showcase the flowing creativity and the flowing workspace our offices create. My second deliverable is a mock-up of what our Instagram page would look like. Free Flow would be really, would value, like I said, KC culture, and so we would try to incorporate KC as much as possible. So Free Flow would often post things like fountains, sites around Kansas City, along with other aspects of KC, for instance, like KC Current, and would try to market them as well alongside their promotions. Here are a couple mock-ups of what the office spaces would look like. This is a little bit of use of AI, I apologize. Graphic designers, I apologize. So if you notice, we're going to make sure that all the spaces are light and bright. Then we're going to make sure that they're light free, a lot of open. And then if you notice, I have some KC backgrounds in the windows and also KC architecture on the walls to showcase our love of KC culture. Here's a secondary mock-up of like what some shirt designs would look like. And thank you.
Well, I think your animations of the logos are really neat. I like the way those look. And I think I appreciate the attention you put into the spacing to make sure the F does not hit that L. Because that is one thing, you know, that when people aren't paying attention to type, right here, that's really nice to let it breathe a little bit and make sure that the top of the F isn't running into the L. I think that is a nice little extra piece of attention to the typeface that really is the mark of, you know, somebody who's an attentive designer, and I like that.
I'd also like to mention, my logos are fully done. I've talked about this with Treester. I love these like nice shape and flowing we have on the F and the W here, but if you notice my wave icon I use in the logo, it's sharp and so it kind of clashes with it. And so I plan on adjusting this so that it's more rounded in the wave icon and also in the F, so it has a little bit more continuity between all the logos.
Good idea.
Something that I really liked that I kind of wanted to point out was the mark, and the fact that it kind of looks like an F, I think was a really good reason.
The F, that came to be because, remembering back to JMC 260 when I was in an extra agency, I had Frontier Airlines, and I did a logo animation for my deliverable, and I made the Frontier logo into a chair seat, an airplane seat, and so I immediately thought of how I can make a mark or like part of a different part of the logo into like a letter and vice versa.
I think your innovations are excellent. So we had talked about the one that had originally some bubbles in it. I see that you removed that. I think it works really well. Do you mind pulling that one up again so we can take a look? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's, you simplified it, but it's still really dynamic and has a lot of movement to it. So do you feel like that's a stronger?
I think it is. The bubble, when I added the bubbles, I was like, it was something that I knew how to do, and I was like, I feel like it just needed a little bit more. But that's always just me being like the person that's gonna like criticize myself the most. So when I see something, I think there should just be more. But now that looking at it, I think less is more.
Yeah.
And then same thing with this one. I added the wave, the like wobble it has to it at the end because I felt like it just needed a small bit more. And I feel like that was an example of me adding something but not going overboard.
I appreciate all the thinking you put into the project too. There's like layers of symbolism, and when a visual is really strong, it speaks for itself. And so I think even if you hadn't told us what it represented, we could have made a lot of the connections just by seeing it.
I concur with everything. I really appreciate, again, your attention to detail, especially in the kerning of that kind of script font. I thought was really good. No notes.
Nice. Other questions, comments? All right, super. Thanks, Joey. All right, next up.
Alright, so my brand is Unit Run Club, and so first of all, what is Unit Run Club? Who are we? So we're a club specifically for people who want to find other people to run with. Specifically, my target audience was for people who might not feel comfortable running alone for safety reasons. So I wanted to have the brand really be focused on finding other people and finding community without sacrificing people's ability to make their own personal goals and achieve those personal goals. And I really wanted to emphasize that the Run Club is a unified group and we emphasize both safety and community, but we're not sacrificing the individuality of people's own individual running and fitness goals in order to do that. So our brand voice is going to be both friendly and approachable, so it's something that is going to feel very welcoming to new people and very friendly to the people already there to kind of foster that community feel. But also at the same time, I want our brand voice to be very energetic and encouraging because this is part of people's fitness journey, or it's just simply people's attempt at trying to stay healthy. And so we want to really foster that aspect of it as well. So it's kind of got these two different approaches that come together to create something that is both non-intimidating but also something that is really going to push people to be the best that they can be within their running journey. And here is some examples of my logo. So I really wanted to have some sort of like double thing going on. So with like the swoops on the logo, there are always two of them to symbolize kind of that they're not going to be alone. You're not going to be alone if you're in this run club and we are a community. But also in the some of them, the U is specifically a different color to emphasize the individuality that you are still getting within the run club, even though you are part of this one group. And then the name unit also kind of symbolizes both the group itself is a unit, but also you yourself are not sacrificing your own ability to set your own goals and your own individuality for the sake of safety and community in a group. So here is our brand color system. So the orange is a bit more high energy and really something that emphasizes like we are a run club and we are about like fitness and athletics. But also I chose two greens that kind of complement each other to kind of give a more approachable and friendly feel as well. So it's less intimidating and more approachable for people who might be kind of turned away from other run clubs for not being as community focused. And then I also have a different version that's of white and black that aren't just pure white and pure black, because those can be kind of startling and clash a lot with other colors. So I wanted to make sure that we had like those softer shades of those colors to also kind of give that more softer and approachable feel than just the bright white or really dark black. So here is our typography system. So for our headings and subheadings, you will mostly use articulate CF, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I chose it because it's very simple and easy to read, and because it's so simplistic, it might come off as less intimidating. And it is the font that is used in the logo. I did increase the tracking in the logo in the word unit just to make it feel a little bit more close together and whole. So it is slightly different than you'll see here, but it's just the tracking that has changed. And then for more of our body text, we will use Acro Display because it's also very simple and easy to read, but it also has good contrast with our other font because one is a serif and then one is a sans serif, so that leads to good contrast, so they're not like clashing anyway. And it's a font that works well for both web and print mediums, so it will be easy to read pretty much no matter where you see it. And then I did some clothing mock-ups. So I have some of the shirts in the orange. I made them in Adobe Dimension just to kind of mess around with how it would look in different lightings. And I really wanted to have a shirt that kind of had that orange color because I feel like that is very identifiable, and if you are running in a large group, it's good to have the other people in the group be very identifiable so you don't like, lose each other, or you don't, like you can recognize each other at a glance. So having that bright orange as a part of the shirt was pretty important to me when designing it. But also, it was pointed out to me that some people might not feel as comfortable in these bright colors because they could be more attention grabbing. So especially for like smaller groups, like if it's like a pair or a trio running and they don't really want to draw too much attention to themselves, we do have, I did make a mock-up, in this case it's like a sweatshirt hoodie type thing, but it's in a more neutral color for those instances to where people might feel safer not drawing as much attention to themselves. But the primary one would be this shirt, that, especially for running in big groups. But there are options otherwise that I chose to make a mock-up for. And then I also have this YouTube bumper ad, which I hope the sound works on it.
Yep.
I apologize for this. Speaking before, I apologize for this. will.
Maybe you didn't embed right this
Yeah,
time through.
I
Just make sure that when you turn it in, Heather can see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I can maybe find it on my computer as well.
All right, meanwhile, anybody have questions, comments for this? I like the orange a lot. I think, you know, it's bold and it's eye-catching and it does have that energy in it. And I really like on the logo the way, oh, there it is.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I just had to pull it up on here. I apologize.
Oh, that's
It
fine.
was playing before.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So I really wanted to specifically include clips of people running together to really focus on the fact that this is not like a solo, like you have so many options to run with other people. So I really wanted to focus on that. Thank you so much, and I apologize for
All right,
the
no,
technical
that's fine. We get to see it. Yay. All right. Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes.
I really like your logo. I think it's really cool. My question is on your reverse, because on your primary logo, you have it the green U with like the nice dark colored rest of your letters. Did you experiment with trying a different color U on your reverse logos?
I did experiment a little bit with trying different colors for the U. However, I felt that with, especially because with my reversed, I was testing to see how it would be on a brighter background, especially because I did have that idea of the orange shirt. I felt like that on a brighter background, a more simplistic colorization of the logo ended up looking better. So I chose to have it be one unified color because otherwise it looks kind of wonky on the brighter background. So it was definitely something that I experimented with, but I ultimately decided that this was the best look for the logo when considering those color backgrounds.
But the logo definitely suggests a lot of movement in the. I'm curious, did you look at other kind of like athletic style brands for inspiration, like the kind of swooshing forms that you have is very reminiscent of like the Nike swoosh and other athletic shoes?
I did definitely look at some other sort of athletic brands for some inspiration, but I didn't really like pull from any one specific brand. I kind of combined a lot of what I was seeing and like thought of like the type of movement that was usually seen in a lot of these logos, but I wanted to kind of have a little bit of my own unique spin to it. So I thought about it instead, because usually when you look at those logos, they're going in like one direction. So I thought of having the two swooshes kind of go in different directions, but they're still like together would be a good way to kind of differentiate it a little bit while still feeling like an athletic brand and still feeling like a run club.
The bottom swoosh kind of integrates perfectly because the U has that round letter form to it. At the top, it's a little more kind of squared off. So I wondered, did you experiment with some different placements or think about like how to make that work?
Yes, I did experiment with some different placements. Originally, I had them both underneath the U. However, that made it seem a little bit unbalanced, and it seemed like all the cool stuff in the logo was on one individual side. So I chose to put it on the other side to kind of unify the logo, no pun intended, to kind of unify the logo to make it feel more like one thing, as opposed to putting both of them in the same place. So having it kind of circling it kind of made it feel more whole and more like a singular logo other than kind of two logos kind of smashed together in a way that didn't really look, I didn't really like the way it looked, but I feel like if having it on each side, that was what worked best.
One version too that you can consider adding is the U with the marks on both sides is really strong. What if you had an option where you had that as kind of the icon and the Run Club text next to it? Might be a nice kind of addition to the system that you already have.
I could definitely add that into my logo system. Honestly, that was not something that I had considered, of having the U and then the Run Club kind of separate, but it is definitely something that I would consider going forward.
Okay, nice. All right, thank you.
Okay, my name is Kaylina Blanco, and my brand that I came up with is Home Harvest, and it is a customizable salad bar whose ingredients changes with the season, and you're also able to customize every menu item. So this was the inspiration for my brand. I wanted to create a brand that was focused on the community and something that was super unique and customizable and also just radiate like warmth. And so here's like some of the words that I wanted to focus on. With the brand, I wanted each ingredient to be with the season, so we never had like bad produce or anything when we would present like customers with our menu items. And I also wanted to put a large focus in shopping local and supporting local businesses, and I wanted it to kind of be a farm-to-table place, so we would source all of our produce from local farms, and the same goes with any produce or meat and stuff like that. The target audience for my brand was any foodies who enjoyed their favorite hole in the wall. I wanted it to be I wanted to put the importance on shopping local and staying local, and so this brand is very much for people who enjoy like going out to town and searching for that business that they can call their own, and they like have their own order, and you come in and you're greeted with faces that you're very familiar with. So they enjoy exploring small businesses and supporting local while enjoying simple food made great. So here are the colors that I used. We have black, linen dream, carrot juice, pretty plum, and smoky olive. I got pretty creative with the names on this. I did not want to use any white for this brand. I felt that was too harsh and too cold, and so the linen dream that you see up here should be used as a background color for everything, and I wanted it to be the alternative to the white, so very warm and welcoming. And then for carrot juice, pretty plum, and smoky olive, they all kind of have a warm undertone to them that kind of mimics that welcoming and warm vibe. My two fonts were Futura and Demibold, and my secondary font or body font is an Adele. The primary font should only be used in the logo itself, and any body text should be in the Adele font. I wanted only the primary font to have this, and all headings should also be used in that, but I wanted it to be used sparingly so it stands out when you see it in the logo rather than just reading any body or caption text. So here are my logo variations. This one at the top is the primary one, and this one should be seen on websites, social media pages, and any merchandise as well. And then these variations can also be used, but I'd like them to be used sparingly. This is the favicon for the brand, and I wanted this to be used as any buttons. If you see it on a website, it would be in like the small logo at the very top. And with the customizableness of the brand and our mission of having the season change with our products, I wanted to include variations of the logo itself. And so we have an onion, a radish, and a carrot, and these can change with the brand. Like as time goes on, as we introduce new flavors and introduce new produce that customers are able to use, this is able to change with that. And so I also wanted to showcase it in a reverse option. So the white should be used most of the time, but of course we want to adapt to each customer. And so if there's somebody that likes a little bit more edge, or the season changes to a colder time, it may be smarter to use this version rather than the lighter version. And the same thing, I wanted all of the colors to be readable on both Linen Dream and Black, and so I wanted to showcase that here with the different logos. So here is my first mock-up, which is the Canvas to-go bag. I wanted to stray from any plastic in this brand just because we're focusing on local, focusing on clean. And so the canvas is just a smart way to incorporate that. Sorry, I'm thinking what I want to say. It's also a good way to advertise our brand away from just being a salad bar. I feel like when I go onto Mass Street and I'm shopping local, my favorite thing is to grab a tote bag because it kind of just shows this is a small part of the place where I'm from, I want to represent. And so the canvas to-go bag can not only be used for the food that you take home, but it can be constantly reused after that. And so, like I said before, I wanted to include it in both the white and black just for variation purposes as well. And the whole idea of the brand is adaptability to the customer. So there are several options for people to choose from. The deli paper is something that was actually my first idea when considering merchandise. I think that the deli paper is very versatile, as it's not just the paper itself, but the pattern can be applied to several different things within the store location and outside. The deli paper is something that I want to line, like imagine you're walking into the restaurant, you're grabbing a to-go tray, and you line the deli paper, and then you start putting all your food on top. From start to finish of that person's experience in eating the meal, they're like still digesting the brand idea. And so, yeah. And then here is my logo animation. And this can also be applied to any of the variations shown before in the several logos down here. I just applied it to the onion one because I took that as like my main logo.
I like your mock-ups, they're really fun. I am just kind of curious why you went with a really brown green when this is salad, which is not maybe the freshest green out there. I mean, what was the thought process behind that?
I was really just going for warmth. I wanted these colors to look really cohesive, and I felt that if I did a lighter green or a more vibrant green, it would stand out too much against the colors.
That is a good point.
I love the carrot juice color.
That's a great color, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. There's almost kind of a regal quality to your color palette, which is interesting. But the deli paper, I think, is a really fun deliverable.
Yeah.
As well. Just great application of how the brand can be visualized. That's
Right. Other questions?
I really liked your wording and like your vocabulary that you used in your presentation, especially right here when you said like they digest like the brand while they're like using the deli paper. I thought that was very effective, and if like you were pitching that to somebody, I felt that would be very effective communication on your part.
Others? All right, thank you.
Okay. Hello, for those who don't know me, my name is Juan, and this is Pop and Change. So we are a thrift and resell store sort of. And so our mission is for to give off a vibe of nostalgia and cohesiveness, so people can rebrand themselves and create their own self-image, whether it's improving, encouraging different styles, but it also leaves room for growth and for yourself, and also your style, your appearance, and inner and outer, and it just gives people a chance to reinvent themselves, and just feel closer to themselves with what they purchase, and that they feel satisfied with themselves. So my audience was, our audience was retro style enthusiasts and resellers. So That could be people that lift regularly or sporadically, or just people that think stuff is cool. But it's mostly aimed towards older, less restored options. But our values were to inspire and reinvent, whether that's mostly aimed towards customers and buyers. Have pride for the right price. So price can, for retro and vintage stuff, it could go from as high as it can be or as low as it can be. So it leaves that nice range of anything can be in the middle. And then simplicity is key, so style doesn't always have to be eccentric, but it can also just be as simple as a t-shirt, some charms, but some icons that go like correlate with these, were just the line weights. All of this is simple, easy, which like reflects on the brand itself. Simple, easy, not much to it, but it does tell a story that it is there for you and for entertainment. It's fun, exciting. Yeah. And then for our color palette for this brand, Jersey Blue, Dry Burst Yellow, Blanco Beige, Dusty Mesa, and Timber Green. So for our primaries would be our Jersey Blue and Dry Burst Yellow, because they both complement each other very well, and as you can see, it adds a drop shadow while still like making that yellow pop out more. And our Blanco Beige sets in the background. It's a nice background color that the rest of the colors can just add on to that and stand out more rather than just the black or white. And then the Dusty Mesa, it adds more of that like energetic feel, but also it's not as powerful. It's calm, collective. It doesn't scream at you. And then Timber Green is not, I would say our tertiary color would be Timber Green because it's not as often seen and often shown, but it does add in a nice accent color to our Dusty Mesa and Dry Burst Yellow as well as the Blanco Beige, so it's not just there out in the open. And then for our fonts, as you can see, our primary would be Milky Village, which I have been using for each heading throughout the slides. This would mostly and only be used for the logo itself, as well as headings, subheadings, to whichever point you so please, but only for those, so that it stands, so it looks like it's there for that purpose. That makes sense. Then our secondary would be our Acme Gothic Compressed Bold. So there's, it provides legibility, but also it's not so capitalized, so like how people, you read slower with all caps, but this adds flow, but it also makes things quick to read, as well as it's not so confusing and so clumped together. No kerning or line spacing has been added to these because they just read well off on their own. But what these two have in common is that they are different, but as well as they combine well together. Because the primary, the Milky Village, adds a kind of a playful, entertaining mood, while the Acme Gothic Compressed Bold, it just adds, it seems like you would just like see it in body text and like newsletters and print. So here are our vertical lookups and our logo types. You can't really do much because of the mascot character, so you can't really invert colors as well. And so the best option for me was to, or for us, was to just switch around the accents of the Dry Burst Yellow and the Jersey Blue. Then here are our marks, as you can see, first appearance of Timber Green. Our horizontal lookups as well, and our favicons. With our favicons, it looks different than the rest of them because I was thinking, well, our brand was thinking that it's more of an interactive type favicon, so like if you click something and it changes a different color, it does that, just that. So it just adds that little interactivity between them. And then our retail like wall mock-ups would be something you would find just out in the open, just on your casual day. And with this provides a great usage of lighting and shading, so that can be seen in different lights, different views. And then we did an animated logo, see if that'll play. Something fun, something quick. Could be used in an intro or outro of maybe an ad or something. And that is all it's doing.
I really like the Milky Village font. It's super playful and really fun. And I think in the logo, the way you took advantage of the fact that Pocket doesn't have any descenders to just sort of nestle it in the change, I thought that looked really nice.
Yeah.
I just love your little mascot guy.
Oh, thank you.
I got like two like really quick ideas. So
Yeah,
you have
go
like
ahead, yeah.
stripe shading on the coin mascot.
Yeah.
You thought about incorporating that within your text since you have the backdrop, the drop shadow on your text. If you had that there, it'd be like a little cool continuity thing.
I actually had. I think that's a good idea. I have not tried that, but I will look into that.
If you could go back to your vertical mock-up as well, or logo. This is like really far out there, but like, have you experienced a really cool idea as well? Would be like, if you had it so like him stepping on the logo, like the P and like the K would form around his foot, so it looks like he's walking across it. Because I feel like that's like it looks like really smooth and really like nice and laid out like that.
Mm-hmm. I honestly don't know how that would look. I think that's a good idea to have. I will definitely experiment with that because I initially had it to where Pocket itself was above the mascot and they would sort of round it into like a circle shape. But
Oh, that looks better.
yeah, but with the subtle drop shadow with the blue and the yellow, it would just drop too heavy or rise too heavy, and it would just look just off. So.
I think your character is fantastic. The Milky Village font, I agree, is very fun and playful. The mascot almost kind of mirrors the letter forms with like the A centers and B centers in the letters of the font. You've kind of captured that with like the legs and the arms and how they extend from your character. So I'm just curious about your process. How did you go about developing the character? Did you have to go through a few different iterations, or how did you end up approaching that?
So, from what I understand from other creators and like graphic designers, they usually start with their text and fonts first. I wanted to start with my character and mascot first to see what can match that energy and what can match that subtle change that'll create that flow. Because I wanted to revolve it around that mascot, so that would create a cohesiveness with the font and mascot itself. But I just, because the Milky Village, it's not so soft. It's not soft, but it is fun. It's fun. It's entertaining and it's legible. But it's not soft. So it works well together, you know. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah.
Any other things? Yes.
In that case, like if everything just kind of worked together, like that is a miracle because it was really well thought out and like very like effortless. The way you like did the colors, the mascot, even like down to I know you chose the type and the font after, but like just the name of those goes so well with just the energy of like nostalgia and like it's really cool. You did a really good job. Don't undersell yourself.
Right on. Is that any more
All right,
questions?
anybody else? All right, nice job.
Okay, so my brand is Chlora. I'm Trinity, by the way, if I haven't met most of you yet. It's a botanical soda meant for modern wellness. A little bit about Chlora. So it's a botanical blend of adaptogens and fruit and florals. It's meant to promote some health and wellness without sacrificing flavor, with the functional benefits that it provides. And our main purpose is from plants for people, to kind of emphasize the greater benefits and also the fact that it's not sacrificing that flavor when it comes to healthy products. So there's a market shift as far as Gen Z and millennials right now, where they're purchasing a lot less sugary drinks and energy drinks. They're kind of coming back and trying to, I guess, reverse the cycle and start partaking in some wellness products. That's where Chlora has an opening in the botanical soda market, or the soda market in general, where again, a lot of health companies are focusing on the benefits instead of the flavor. So research shows that a lot of people, when they're looking into health products or any food or beverages, they kind of weigh out the pros and cons of the calories or the sugar or whatever is in the Coke, and then versus what they're going to get, I don't know, in a vitamin water or a protein shake. They're usually likely to spend more money on a health product, even though they know it's not going to taste good. So this way, Chlora fills that gap. It's going to taste good. It also has an advanced niche taste to it with the florals and adaptogens in there, but it's not too off-key where it doesn't make people want to try it like our Gen Zers and millennials. So that makes it for 25 to 34-year-olds as our target audience, who prioritize wellness. And they're typically tech savvy because a lot of people now, there's kind of like a hype around adaptogens, specifically like ashwagandha and lion's mane, ginseng. And so I want to incorporate some of those flavors into everyday kind of soda flavors like lemon, lime, or even cucumber and mint, to try to get some spa goers into some Chlora. But our target audience is focusing on the feel. Like I said, they're willing to pay the extra price even though they know that something's not going to taste good. So we really have to sell them on the feeling of a sensory experience. And they value transparency. They're usually the ones to research everything before they go ahead and buy it. And so in that case, Chlora is a science-backed formulation by experts in the field that carefully formulate the adaptogens and botanical blends. And they also value aesthetic, which you'll see in a moment. This is my typography, primary right here. As you can see, I've been kind of using it. It's usually in bold for all the headers. And then for the logo as well. That's about all I use it for, and then all we use it for. And then my secondary font is for the body and for taglines. So Chlora's brand voice, we want to be friendly and approachable, but we also want to seem refined, kind of premium, luxurious, but also have accessibility to us. And so I think that's what also adds to the palette of people that are looking for Chlora, is that they have this exclusivity feel without the price or the inaccessibility of getting products like Chlora. And we're also empowering in our tone and messaging. Keywords are botanical, mindful, restorative, and modern, and you'll kind of see that throughout the mock-ups that I'll show you in a moment. And then, again, functional benefits is what we want to emphasize, as well as sensory experiences, so we can sell people on that feeling, and modern wellness as well. My colors are leafy green, lavender gray, warm beige, and rounded brown, and honey gold. The green is for tranquility and renewal, and the purple is more for, kind of shows the wisdom in our expert-backed formulas, as well as relaxation. And then the warm beige for more of a premium, calm vibe, and then nature and stability for the grounded brown. And then vitality and authenticity, and it also adds to luxurious feel for a cheaper product using gold. And then I have all my logo mock-ups over here. They kind of got a little jumbled, but over here I have the circle symbol and then a C over here to represent Chlora. This is what I plan to use for most, like for a little website indicator. This is my main logo that I've been using my fabric on. And then as well as the Chlora, this one typically goes on the soda cans as well. The other ones are used kind of sparingly, so, but they're there to use when I need them, when we need them. And then I also have some additional logos. So again, I emphasize the C because I use it so much in these soda can mock-ups. And then we also have this botanical flower, and then a little drop with a leaf in it. And I kind of went overboard at first when I was doing my mock-ups, and I was really just overthinking it and adding and adding. And I had to stop, and I took a break, and I came back to it. And then I was like, okay, less is more. And I just threw my favicon up there, and it kind of worked out. And then again, like I said, you'll see mindful refreshment on all of these. So people see that when they look at it, and then they'll see the Chlora brand, but then they'll see the need-based, calm, restore, vitality. So when people aren't thinking they need it, they'll look on a shelf and they'll be like, oh, maybe I should chill out. And they'll grab it and hopefully be better for it. And then I have my Instagram mock-up to kind of just exemplify the colors of my brand, and the warmth and friendliness, as well as like the luxury premium tone, and kind of effortless feel, but it's also strategic. So I think it kind of gives that expert, science-y, but not too serious. And then I also use my extra logos over here. And then for these, I used just the same script that I used for my Chlora logo. And then for plants for people up here. And then this is my Instagram reel. Soda can, and that's all.
Any questions or comments? I have to say, when I saw the gold in the color palette, I'm like, wow, that's really bold. And then when it's on the can mock-up, I'm like, that's perfect. So just had to be patient there.
Yeah, how do we?
I love the Cormorant Garamond fold. That is, it's the font.
Oh, yes.
That is a really nice, it's like plain but not too plain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little fancy.
Yeah. I wanted to go for something that was a little bit rounded, so it gave off a friendly vibe, but also it's still structured, so it shows like more of a
Yeah, that was a
professional-
good choice. I like
Thank
that
you.
one. I like that.
Yeah, I think you've got some good differentiation in terms of a brand, because there aren't too many beverages out there that have like the solid white
Mhm.
with their packaging. So
Yeah.
just curious about how you decided to go that route, and was that part of the thinking was to go with
So I spend a lot of time on things until they're like really perfect, and sometimes I genuinely just have to step away and like give it a break and come back to it, and that's what I had to do with this one. I had a mock-up of a soda can that I was like, oh, this is perfect, and then I was like, I kept messing with it, and it just kept like collapsing on itself, and I was like, I need to like take a step back and look at what I have already, because I know I have a lot. And I was going with a lot of botanical outlines and trying to like throw little opaque colors underneath. And it wasn't, giving a differentiation against other brands. And so I was like, I want to go for a minimalist vibe, expert backed. I think the white gives off that premium, clean energy that people are looking for when they see something. They'll find a little bit more credibility with the white background, and then adjusting the brand color and the logo symbol based on what drink it is. So I switched it from the original green one to purple for calm, and then the yellow for vitality.
Yeah, that was good.
And so that was kind of my idea going into it. I wanted to be able to switch up the colors, but the original mock-up I had, there was no possibility of switching around anything. So this made it a lot easier and simple.
I think having that white gives it an association with science and medicine, and it's kind of that instant credibility to where you see it and think, oh, this brand knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's
that was the
clean
goal.
and fresh, and
It also gives off the most contrast compared to the other ones. I had thought about using the green background, purple, and it was just not working that way. And so once I hit this one, I was like, okay, I think we got it.
Yeah. All right, other questions, comments for Trinity?
You're like, I wanted to go home.
Everybody wants to go home. All right, great job, everybody. These were really